Linking clauses test our understanding of phrases and clauses. How do we connect the various clauses and phrases together with the usage of punctuations? We can connect two independent clauses with a period or a semicolon and other punctuations. We can also connect a dependent clause to an independent clause. We can also join phrases to independent clause or dependent clause. When we are connecting these things, the appropriate punctuations must be used. To understand this better, let's have a look at one of the questions from one of the college board mocks. Let's understand the concept of linking clauses using this example. The question says, which choice completes the text so that it conforms to the conventions of standard English? Let's read the text. Researchers studying magnetosensation have determined why some soil-dwelling roundworms in the southern hemisphere move in the opposite direction of Earth's magnetic field when searching for dash. In the northern hemisphere, the magnetic field points down into the ground, but in the southern hemisphere, it points up towards the surface and away from worms' food sources. Now, we have four answer choices, and only one answer choice is having an extra word, that is why. Okay, so before we jump to them, let's try to understand what exactly we are connecting. So we break the text into two parts, before the blank and after the blank, to understand what exactly we are connecting here. So the first part says, researchers studying magnetosensation have determined why some soil-dwelling roundworms in the southern hemisphere move in the opposite direction of Earth's magnetic field when searching for food. Now this looks an independent clause. This looks like an independent clause. So let's look at the information after this now. So in the northern hemisphere, the magnetic field points down into the ground. So in the northern hemisphere, the magnetic field points down. This is an independent clause. So sentence before and sentence after, these two sentences. Okay, so we have two independent clauses, but to confirm, we'll need to read the entire text. So I'm reading the second part one more time. In the northern hemisphere, the magnetic field points down into the ground, but in the southern hemisphere, it points up towards the surface and away from worms' food sources. So one thing is for sure here, we are connecting two independent clauses. Independent clause, and other side also we have independent clause. So the punctuations that work or that can be used to connect two independent clauses are period, we have a colon, we also have a semicolon, we have a long dash, and we have comma plus fanboys, and we also have question mark and exclamation mark. Okay, so one thing is for sure, we have two independent clauses, and we need to find which punctuation we have in any of the answer choices. This is the dash. So okay. Right. So let's look at first option. Option A is using food and colon. So if we put food here and put a colon, so in this case, we are connecting two independent clauses using a colon. That makes sense. So we'll hold on option A. Option B cannot be your answer because a comma cannot connect two independent clauses. Option C is also wrong because it is adding a subordinating conjunction that cannot connect two independent clauses. Option D is also wrong. That is not using any punctuation at all. So option B is making an error of comma splice. Comma splice, when you're connecting two independent clauses, with a comma. Option D is making an error of a run-on sentence. A run-on sentence when you are connecting two independent clauses without any kind of punctuation. And option C is of course wrong because a subordinating conjunction cannot connect two independent clauses. So from the list of punctuations, this is the one we are using to connect two independent clauses. So it is always good to understand what is an independent clause, what is a dependent clause. Dependent clause also be called a subordinating clause. Independent clause can also be called a main clause. So once you know these terms, identifying which punctuations can be used to connect these things should not be too problematic. Okay, so most important thing here is to know what are these terms: independent clauses, dependent clauses, phrases, and to know which punctuations can be used to connect these elements.